Russian man like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just the brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a garden and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generations discussion. And today, we're going to be taking a look at why I believe a lot of fans have missed the theme of the main driving force that Naruto series creator Masashi Kishimoto has been writing since taking back over the writing for the Boruto story with manga volume 13 onward. Way back when Kodachi's statement was issued, which was also published in manga volume 13, it was directly stated that he would be handing over the writing back to Kishimoto. When that got said, I spoke in a video about what to expect when Masashi Kishimoto returns. I stated that there would be a setup, there would be trolling, the reasons of the antagonist would actually be spelled out. We would get their motives instead of having to use headcanon to explain their motives. Case in point, the car enters in the manga didn't exactly have the most depth. And I stated that there would be underlying themes put in place during the setup phase before the pacing really began to pick up. Well, it's been almost 2 years since that's taken place, and I think now is the time to revisit that, in particular the theme that's been set up and put in place here over the course of this arc. Much like I've said in my older videos, and much like I said on that giant podcast I did on Foreverworld's channel last year, this arc that we've been in since chapter 56 gave me Search for Tsunade arc vibes, where it's slow. There are going to be a few skirmishes, but the framework for the next 3 years worth of conflict will be put in place. That arc also began laying the groundwork for one of Naruto's biggest themes, and Boruto's manga right now is currently doing the same, and I feel like a lot of people have missed that. Masashi Kishimoto has been using the theme of love, but it's not on a surface level, and I'll explain it to you how. So essentially, love is the driving force of this arc and the driving force for the conflict, but there are different types of love. So a lot of you guys might hear love and the first thing comes to your mind is romantic love or passion, but that's not what I'm referring to. Love is a broad scope to cover. It's a definition that gives a lot of flexibility, but that's exactly how Masashi Kishimoto tends to write because of that flexibility that it affords him as an author. Look at it from this perspective. Kawaki's love for Naruto borders on being obsessive because he's never known the love of a father, a real father. His birth father beat him, made him do slave work in order to buy alcohol, and he sold him to a child trafficker in Jigen. Jigen was his first adopted father, and Jigen used him. He allowed Amado to pump his body full of ninja tech, which we know based on the anime, not everyone who underwent those procedures was compatible with the ninja tech, and some like Goro lost their limbs in the process, but those like Kawaki who were compatible kept their original bodies, but they were genetically altered on a cellular level due to the nanotechnology that powered the ninja tech inside of them. Jigen also put Kawaki through an experiment to see if he could transfer the karma to him. Despite knowing it killed 24 other children, Jigen would go on to beat Kawaki within an inch of his life. During the training sessions, he would mentally torture him like he did when he killed that goldfish in front of Kawaki for disobeying him. Kawaki was so broken in by Jigen that he would often hide, but it was useless because Ishiki was physically inside of Jigen's body and could use the Byakugan to locate Kawaki. Hiding was futile. It wasn't until he finally met Naruto after a lifetime of emotional damage that he experienced a father's true love and he couldn't handle it. That love became an obsession in so many ways. It made him a security risk to the village because Kawaki cares more about Naruto than anything else. That's one form of love. Ada's form of love is very simple. It's the human love that comes from that need that mankind has to be loved, to be wanted, to be needed by somebody else, in particular a partner. She wasn't able to experience true love because of how Amado altered her body. Everyone who says that they love her is fake because their feelings for her are manufactured due to her enchantment ability. The irony is that she wants love, but it's not that she's looking for love in all the wrong places, but instead love is all around her, but it's not real. It's an illusion. She would have to fool herself into thinking that that love was good enough. She would have to fool herself into settling. She's fallen in love with Kawaki from watching him, and she has an opportunity to experience true love because of Kawaki being immune to her powers. Code's love is different on so many different levels, which is why in an underappreciated way, he's actually more complex than fans give him credit for. I know I like to dink and dunk on Code a lot, but even I can call a spade a spade. So one form of Code's love is the romantic love, which is why everyone calls him a simp. Ada has more than once stated to Code that Code isn't her type, but he acts like that guy who willingly stays in the friend zone with the girl, thinking that over time he can wear her down and win her over, which, spoiler alert, that rarely works out that way. She's got to be somewhat attracted to you on some type of level. And even then, you're in the friend zone, you're probably staying there. That brings us to the next point. Code is a representation of unrequited love on more than one level, and that's what makes him so fascinating. So on one level, it's unrequited love, literally from Ada rejecting him, and the pain that he's feeling from that love being rejected currently has him desperate. Symbolically, he's experienced unrequited love because his body rejected the full transference of karma, despite how much he worships the Otsutsuki. Code is also a reflection of spiritual love because he loved Jigen, the vessel of an Otsutsuki, and he loved Ishiki even more, to the point where he worshipped him and the Otsutsuki as gods. What Masashi Kishimoto's done here is very similar to what he did when he was writing Naruto. Reach back to an earlier point in the story and grab a vague concept that had no depth added to it, that was kind of ambiguous, and use it as a theme later on in the series, which in this case, the driving factor, it all stems from Boruto Uzumaki. Boruto was told that the blue eyes of his would take everything away from him. Everything being a clear nod to everything he loves in this world. His friends, his family, his peaceful way of life, and etc. Boruto is being written to live with the prospect of losing love and being forced to learn that in life, you will love. You will love hard. You will love hard as hell. Your love will be the greatest thing you can ever experience, and inevitably, you are going to lose love at some point. It's a brilliant literary move that Masashi Kishimoto has done. The driving point for all of these characters is rooted in love and all the different forms of love. These characters have been driven by love, and we're now seeing what love drives people to do. Some people are driven into obsessive madness. Others will be driven by being forced to live with the specter that the loving moments that they share are fleeting because they're confirmed to go away at some point. Another will be forced to do soul searching as love is transformed into hate, just as Amado warned Obito about, that when a man knows love, he runs the risk of knowing hate. Another will learn what it means to experience love for the first time, and also what it means to experience heartbreak for the first time. Especially when it comes from heartbreak that comes from you building up somebody as an ideal lover in your head and they disappoint you. The payoff will be how these characters react to it and what causes them to move forward, which is and always has been one of the driving factors of the Naruto franchise. If you sit down and read the manga very closely, Naruto has a lot of themes. One of those themes is centered around love. Yes, this arc has been slow, but as somebody who literally lived through a year and a half of the Search of Tsunade arc coming out weekly in manga format, I remember how painful it was to wait a whole week and the needle barely moved, though over time the stakes kept getting raised and future character interactions and motivations were being set up. We're at that point now. All that's left is for more information on what drove Amado to do the things that he did. That being said, my question to you guys is, whose love do you think is gonna have the most potential for a compelling narrative, and whose love runs the greatest risk of making them lose themselves? While you think that over, click here to watch the other videos you're seeing on the screen right now.